Welcome to the 65th Air Base Group Commander's Call. I'm Master Sergeant Sarah Thompson from the Logistics Readiness Squadron Vehicle Maintenance Section, and I'm honored to be your MC. Colonel Wallace, will you please provide opening comments?
I want to thank everybody for everybody that's standing. I apologize, we don't have a lot of seats, but we try not to do these in the gym anymore because it turns into a greenhouse. But definitely thanks everybody for coming. Commander's callers are not just a military thing, okay? This is a command team call. We want to be able to make sure everybody can hear things, communicate things, and this is two-way feedback too, okay? So if you're standing, please don't lock your knees. We do have crash fire rescue on the back just in case you do go down. So if you go down, go down a blaze of glory. So because you're gonna go somewhere. Okay, all right, get the jokes out of the way. Seriously, the first thing we're gonna do is this is long overdue. We're gonna present a Bronze Star Medal to Chief Pease. So when Chief Pease was deployed to Bagram, probably one of the more dangerous places I've ever been in my life, that was a very interesting deployment for him because we're still in the heat of combat operations in Afghanistan, but also working on our graceful exit from the Afghan theater, putting a lot of squadrons together as the teams start to get smaller and smaller. The mission doesn't go anywhere and the threat doesn't go anywhere. So you're going to hear a great citation about what he did. He doesn't like to get publicly recognized, but we told him tough. He's going to come on stage and we're going to talk a lot about the great things he did as a leader and as a teammate in that area. For those who's been to Bagram before? Bagram, Afghanistan. Okay. So if you've never been to Bagram before or you don't know where Bagram is, when we get back, or you go back to your computer, just Google Bagram, Afghanistan. It is basically in the bottom of a mountain range, and so basically it's called a bowl. So all the threat and all the bad guys sit up in the mountains and they shoot down at you every day. So it is probably the most dangerous flight line, definitely in the most dangerous area I've probably ever been in my life because you're always watching around looking for the threat. Okay, so you're there in the threat every day. So that was the biggest part of his job, was making sure that base was secure and making sure the airmen and the joint forces were secure, making sure it goes home. Okay, so he's looking at me. He's already burning the dagger.
Like, let's do this.
Yes. So come on stage. So Bronze Star is for meritorious service in the combat zone engaged against an active enemy. So there's also a Bronze Star with Valor. If you would have read, you super saved the world and like did all kinds of other stuff. There's two different versions of this, and we're reading the first one. So
I'm kind of cool, but not that cool, is what you say.
Well, some people are like, "Hey, you didn't do the like crazy Bronze Star with Valor." Like it is still important. So it is the Bronze Star. So, Sarah, please.
Please stand for the presentation of the Bronze Star Medal.
Publish the order.
By Special Order G21988, Chief Master Sergeant Matthew A. Pease distinguished himself by meritorious achievement as the Chief Enlisted Manager, 405th Expeditionary Support Squadron, 405th Air Expeditionary Group, 455th Air Expeditionary Wing, while engaged in action against enemies of the United States at Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan from 6 December 2020 to 15 April 2021. During this period, while deployed in support of Operations Freedom Sentinel and the Resolute Support Mission, despite personal exposure to significant risk of hostile action, he led the largest squadron in Afghanistan, comprised of 471 total force personnel spanning 30 Air Force specialties. In this capacity, he planned and executed the unconventional merger of the Expeditionary Support Squadron with the Expeditionary Operations Squadron, synchronizing efforts of over a dozen critical functions under a unified chain of command, ultimately slashing 74 manpower positions while maintaining airfield operations and fortifying the execution of 17,000 combat sorties and 867 kinetic strikes. Chief Pease's strategic leadership proved vital in repositioning 40% of the security forces flight and integrating 60 Polish soldiers, fusing two nations into a cohesive team for the command's first ever coalition airfield defense force. Additionally, under his superb leadership, his team delivered theater-wide retrograde operations while they removed 5,000 cargo tons, 4,000 personnel, and closed 3 forward operating bases, enabling command-wide balancing of warfighter resources throughout Iraq and the Gulf states and accelerating the president's Afghan withdrawal strategy. Further, he oversaw the sustainment of an $84 million communication node guaranteeing tactical communications across the multi-domain battle space and creating synergistic effects for air crews and troops in contact through a single common operating picture. Finally, he disregarded his own safety during inbound rocket attacks when he directed initial and post-recovery airfield operations, including immediate lockdown of the airfield by strategically placing quick reaction forces in key positions to dominate the battle space with overwhelming fire superiority and conducting post-attack accountability of 855 warfighters, supplying the wing commander with counterstrike options. The exemplary leadership, personal endeavor, and devotion to duty displayed by Chief Pease in this responsible position reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force by order of Commander 9th Air Force. Please be seated. Next, we will recognize the first quarter award winners. All winners that are in attendance, please come forward when your name is called. For the Airmen category, from the 496 Air Base Squadron, Senior Airman Anthony Martinez. They're at Marone. In the NCO category, from the 765th Air Base Squadron, Tech Sergeant Philip Williams. In the Senior NCO category, from the 765th Air Base Squadron, Master Sergeant Ryan Ledford.
When we're done with this category, if you want to let everybody that's outside the door come and do a break, like once we're done with the award winners.
Everyone that's outside, come on in.
Come on in, we got room over there. Everybody's watching you though.
Apollo, get a good shot of this.
These are all the people that were late.
Just
kidding. We started early.
We did start early. We do want people to come to that. This is awesome. I'm excited to understand.
We have the community group.
That's what we provide. Turns out. Go for a second.
In the company grade officer category, from the 65th Air Base Squadron, Captain Connor McCown. In the field grade officer category, from the 496 Air Base Squadron, Major Samuel McClellan, out of Marone. In the civilian category 1 category, from the 496 Air Base Squadron, Mrs. Elena Rigsby, out of Marone. In the civilian category 2 category, non-supervisory, from the 65th Air Base Squadron, Senior Marco Rocha. In the civilian category 2 supervisory category from the 765th Air Base Squadron, Senor Bruno Martins. Receiving the award on his behalf, Senor Paulo Barbosa. In the civilian category 3 category from Group Staff Agency, Senora Elizabeth Machado. In the volunteer category, from the 496 Air Base Squadron, Senior Airman Hope Hannon, out of Maroon. Next, we will recognize the IG Inspection Award winners. From the 65th Logistics Readiness Squadron, Senor Tiziano Moniz, Senor Rodrigo Pereira, and Tech Sergeant Drake Birch, if you please come up to the stage. During this time, the IG wrote this up for the team. The cryogenic team, Mr. Tiziano M. Moniz and Mr. Rodrigo H. Pereira, changed the venting procedures and were able to cut the amount of product boil off by 50% down to an average of less than 10 gallons, reducing the frequency of resupply orders and saving an average of $15,000 annually. Additionally, the cryogenic team conducts a one-of-a-kind gaseous oxygen operation rare across Air Force fuels flights, in which they tested, developed, and implemented the entire capability to convert liquid oxygen to gaseous oxygen and fill the necessary equipment required for aircraft support. Furthermore, they have continued to improve on this operation and were able to reduce the time required to fill multiple cylinders from a 10 to 18-hour process down to a 3 to 4-hour process. Finally, they have consistently provided above and beyond support to multiple agencies, AFSCs, and both technical knowledge and maintenance assistance. They have taken over the periodic maintenance inspections for all of the Air Force-owned LOX carts because of a break in the E&E slot on base.
We got to go by the cryo shop and hand them out wing commander coins, and that was probably about 2 months ago. One, Rodrigo was upset because he just got a super awesome black eye, so we took a great picture. But we definitely wanted to recognize these folks, this shop in front of everybody. When you do the first wing inspection, and you're the best performer, the outstanding superior performer of the group, we definitely wanted to recognize you. So thank you very much, sir. And please take this to your compatriot. This one is yours, and you can pass that on to him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Next, we have IG Best Practice from the Medical Aid Station. The group of individuals recognized are Senora Maria Fatima Alameda, Senora Sylvia Betancourt, and Senora Elia Abreu, and Master Sergeant Johnny Cardona. If you please come up.
Everybody looks like a recognition, right?
It's like nobody's in here with masks.
During the IG inspection, they wrote up, there are 3 lodges local nationals, Miss Elia Abreu, Miss Maria Fatima Almeida, and Miss Sylvia Betancourt, who run a program called Tricare Sos. This program allows for military members overseas to be seen off base for specialty care, ancillary services, and emergency room visits. What makes these three ladies go above and beyond is that they actually are a liaison for our military members during their appointments. This means they will go with their patient and assist with any barriers that can arise during the appointments. As far as Tech Sergeant McVeigh and Staff Sergeant Sims know, this is a rare that local nationals will actually be a liaison for our military members. They will assist with scheduling off-base appointments for our service members as well. Lastly, if our service members have to go to the emergency room actually has the on-call number to contact them at any hour of the day, and they will report to the emergency room to assist in any way that is needed. These three ladies have shown a best practice that goes well above and beyond what the normal services of Tricare Sos offers. The last best IG overall practice is from the 765th Air Base Squadron, Team Lodges Fire Department. So if it's not a fire hazard, as many as possible come up on stage.
Your department.
Let's go. Come on
Watch
up.
out, watch out, watch out.
The mic.
Y'all deserve it.
The 765th Air Base Squadron Fire Department was recognized establishing a program to conduct multiple training scenarios in a number of empty, unused buildings found on Lodges Field. This unique program allows for improved proficiency across the entire crash fire rescue department, enhancing the potential for successful operations across a wide variety of mishaps.
First day I was here on the base, they actually responded and were training at the building right next to us, and I did not know it was an exercise. And so when you see every fire truck pull up on base and you see everybody out there, I was like, well, here we go. It must be pretty bad. And they're like, sir, we're just training. I mean, it was awesome. They had the fog, they had little smoke shifters going. I mean, it was an awesome training environment. So that when somebody calls it a best practice, that's basically means nobody else is doing this. So kudos to you guys, and kudos to all the men and women of the fire department for keeping us safe and showing everybody how to do it the right way. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Colonel Wallace and Chief Peace. At this time, we welcome Lieutenant Colonel Sean Littleton to the stage for our slide presentations.
Woo!
All right, Team 6-5, it is great to get to talk to everybody in a slightly bigger group for the first time. So Lieutenant Colonel Sean Littleton coming to y'all from Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama. So I was doing Air War College out there, and while I was there, I did my master's thesis about the strategic significance of the Azores. So I love everything about this place, and my wife Kate, who is on the slide pictured with me, and I are absolutely thrilled to be here. So that is one of the things that I bring to the table here is enthusiasm, and that's about it. So I am not an expert whatsoever in almost anything any of you do, but I am absolutely enthusiastic in trying to help you do it better, faster, smarter, or if you just want to complain about something, I'm absolutely here for everybody. So I do mention that in the bullet where I'm an Air Force developmental engineer, so that's just to kind of let you know, if you're telling me something and I make a face that looks like that, that means I'm debating whether or not to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Could you break it down really simple for me? So if you see me make that face, break it down real simple for me. But since I'm an engineer, I like numbers. So I got one wife, Kate, like I said, one dog. Hopefully I leave the island with one wife and one dog. if I did things went well. So we have moved quite a few times in the Air Force, and some of the just quick highlights. I got to be a flight test engineer in New Mexico, so the picture in the lower left is the speedometer, or that Mach indicator in a T-38, so that was getting to go past the speed of sound, doing a flight test mission. Went off to Boston, did some work there, went to California, that's where I picked up surfing. So you see a picture of me surfing. If you didn't know that I'm a surfer, that's because we just haven't met yet. I like to talk about it a little bit. I like to talk about it way more than I am actually good at surfing. So for the people that might surf, if you see me in the lineup, I'm going to embarrass myself, but I'm having fun. But if you see me like floating face down, come help me out. So we moved quite a bit, besides the Air Force. So lived in a bunch of different states, 3 different countries. Our fun fact is we lived on a boat for 3 years in Marina Del Rey, California. That was an awesome adventure. So my wife and I love doing fun, unique stuff. And got a lot of hobbies. So one of which in the lower right-hand corner there, that's me commuting to work in Germany on my bicycle in the snow. So I've been commuting by bike, car, paddleboard, swimming, and I tried snowshoeing once and it didn't work for the last 10 years. So if you see me on the road, please don't run me over. I will be making my way to work, hopefully by car as few times as possible. And then just the last bullet, like I said, I'm here for all y'all, just to make sure that you succeed and hopefully give something to you and learn from you as well. So thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Littleton. Next, we welcome Chaplain Captain Thomas West to the stage.
So Chaplain West coming from Hurlburt Field, Florida, and just real quick, that's my beautiful wife Lisa and my beautiful daughter Gracie, and she was a high school senior, just graduated this year, so they're going to be coming right at Pride Fest, July 27th. They're going to be hanging out with us for about a month or so, so that'll be really cool. So I'm hoping to kind of go around, meet you guys, and introduce us. We love to do things like travel, and we live in Florida, so we go to Disney World and Universal and all that kind of stuff because it's just right there. And so that center picture is us there with my daughter's stupid boyfriend. Yeah, no, he knows. He knows. I told him. Yeah, his name is Jet, and he plays in a band. So. I couldn't have asked for it. Yeah, that's it. But anyways, very, very happy to be here. The Azores was my #1 pick, and to be able to be here at Logis, I was really, really hoping for it. I volunteered for it, and apparently, like the only one in the Chaplain Corps that even volunteered for remote, and I got to get my place, and so I'm very, very happy to be here with you. And so I just want to share with you real quick some of the things that I bring to the fight. That I want to make sure that everybody understands and knows. So first and foremost, yes, I am a chaplain in the United States Air Force. I am the chaplain, the installation chaplain here at Logis. But more importantly, I am your chaplain. Regardless of whether you come to the chapel or you have a faith tradition or you're religious at all or it doesn't matter. I am your chaplain. And what that means is that the services that I offer are for you, and they go way beyond the religious portion, right? Yeah, so you guys know that Sunday mornings we've got services, that kind of stuff. If you need religious exemptions or something like that, come and talk to me. We can help you sort through those things. Spiritual resiliency, sure, that's going to be the thing that I'm hitting the most, and getting into the squadrons and being able to talk to everybody there. But more importantly, if you need somebody to act sort of as a pastor or a mediator or just a listening ear, that's what I'm here for. So if you didn't know, the Chaplain Corps gives me 100% confidentiality in my counseling. That means you come and tell me the worst thing you've ever done, the worst thing that's ever been done to you, and it stays right there in that room. That is your information. It's not mine. I don't write it down. I don't report it up chains. I'm not a mandatory reporter. 100% means 100%. So if you come to me and say, I'm getting ready to go hurt somebody, I've had it and I'm taking him out, that kind of thing. I'm not calling security forces, I'm not calling your commander. I'm also not going to send you out the door and be like, well, Jesus loves you. My guess is you want to deal with it. That's why you came and talked to me. So I'm going to handcuff myself to you, and we're going to figure this out together. I'm going to be in your corner. And again, you don't have to be religious to come and talk to me. My answer to you is not going to be, have you tried praying? Have you tried reading the Bible? You should come to chapel on Sunday morning. I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm not going to expect you to meet me where I'm at. My job is not to be a missionary to Lodges Air Force Base. My job is to be your chaplain. All right? And that means everybody in here, all of you, I am your chaplain. If you are a local national, I am your chaplain. If you are a Air Force member, I am your chaplain. I'm here for you. Okay? My number's right there, cell phone number. I've got it on me 24/7. You're always welcome to call, always welcome to text. If you can't reach me, you can always call the chapel. You can always call command post, BDOC, and all those guys. Somebody's shirt's going to have the number. Somebody's going to have my number and get me in touch with you. All right, guys? So very glad to be here. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Chaplain West. Next, we welcome the 65th Air Base Group, First Sergeant Master Sergeant Tamba, to the stage for comments.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your Thursday. I just want to say thank you all for what you do. I appreciate being part of your team, being your teammate, and being able to advocate for you each and every day. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you need anything. And likewise, if I need something as well, I will definitely reach out to you. I appreciate all the support and I appreciate all the warm welcome. And on behalf of the group, thank you all for what you do. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. Colonel Wallace and Chief Police, the floor is yours for comments.
Please.
Please come to the space.
Hey, can you hit the slide? We're going to do a little bit more than just comments. Sir?
All right, so one thing we wanted to talk about, and the reason why we asked everybody to pack the house and come out here and do this, and we're recording this for folks that, one, are at Marone, and two, that may not be able to do this, is we wanted to talk about organizations have a mission and a vision. It's not just to put on slides. It's not to put up around and everybody go, cool, we did that thing. Usually first thing people say is, what's your mission statement? What's your vision statement? And usually people do that, and then they go about their business. There's a reason why we do it. And so it starts with you safe. You just had to change a command. Our wing is going to go through change a command. Our group and our squadrons and down to every airman need to understand, and we'd like everybody to understand what it is that we do and why. Why are we focusing on certain things? Where are we going? Okay. So if you go back to August, when all of us got settled here, we did a lot of assessment. We took a long period to figure out, okay, we have a lot of disagreement or maybe not so many documented reasons on what is our mission, what is our vision, what are we doing, what can we do? And for a lot of those things, it took us a while after OAR to just agree on that and say, okay, let's everybody agree on something. Let's at least get going in the same direction. If a bunch of people are doing a bunch of different things, we're not going anywhere together. Okay, so that's why it took us a little bit to do that. The wing in the middle of that did their own strategic pause and said, are we doing the right things as a wing? So Chief Pease and I went to that at Ramstein. We said, well, we can't just say, let's roll out our group mission and vision if the wing is taking a pause to look at theirs. That doesn't make any sense. So here we are now, fast forward, and now we've adjusted. We're going to keep ourselves on a good long-term course. And we're going to go through that so that as leaders come in, we don't have to make wild changes. So let's look at the mission first. Okay, so our mission, develop ready airmen, project air power, and fully integrate capabilities with our partners.
Sir, so I can completely understand what that says, but what does that actually mean with the airmen in this room?
Okay. Thank you for asking, Chief. Good job.
We rehearsed this.
We totally rehearsed this. We could have our own show like a podcast. So the first thing, develop ready airmen. That is the most important part, and it's got to be the first part because we have a complex mission between Team Lodges, and Team Marone, but we have to make sure we have the right airmen, and we have to make sure that those airmen have the right skills to do the job. If our airmen don't know what they're doing, they don't have training, we're going to have a lot of tasks in front of us, and we're not going to get it done.
Well, so then going into the vision, it's adaptive airmen executing with precision, right? We have no choice but to be adaptive airmen. We need everybody to be a multi-capable airman because we're just too small. We're too small to get the mission done by ourselves, right? So we know that we ask a lot of you guys. We know that we continue to ask a lot of you guys, and we're going to continue to ask a lot of you. Within your sections, find new things, find out new opportunities to develop yourselves for future roles. And be adaptive airmen.
Exactly. So adaptive airman doesn't just mean we have surge periods where we go, okay, hey, do we have a lot of time on our hands to do multi-capable airmen and train to different skills? No, you can't do that in the high period. You have to do that in the down period, so that when we do have surge operations, we're not always going to get a request for force or get additional capabilities. So that's why we're trying to pick those times to do additional training or figure out how we can cover each other. A good example is the 721st APS. They trained 2 different shifts to operate as each other, 1 independently for COVID, 2 because if you have half of your flight out, you can't just have an airplane land and not download or upload cargo. Okay, so that's the beginning of a lot of things. We're doing this all the way through U-Safety. This is not a new thing. The issue that we have is that as those things continue through our wings and through our groups and U-Safety and through the Ukraine ops, very much for Team Lodges and Team Maroon, we have taken a back seat to that because we just don't have the teammates to be able to do it. So we need to get into that and start figuring out how it benefits us and how it benefits the mission. If we project power in 2 of the Yukon's biggest platforms, we have to be able to do that at a moment's notice. We can't go, hey, could you please send 40 more airmen? I need some bus drivers. And they go, thanks for your request. Figure it out until we maybe get there. So we're going to start figuring it out and making sure we do it. They also don't want to do things just for fun. I spend a lot of time at the Pentagon and people just go, I'm going to do multi-capable airmen because the chief says it's important. I'm like, well, now you're just chasing stuff because it sounds fancy. Don't just do stuff just because. We need to do it to make sure it makes some sense and actually impacts the mission.
Yeah, so next then we sat together, and actually quite a few of us, and we're like, all right, what are our lines of effort, right? So what you create lines of effort for everybody to have a common goal, right? So the mission vision, that's the common goal. How do we get there, right? So our first line of effort was to develop ready airmen and care for families and support networks. I don't think we need to go in any further than that, sir.
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, document and revive the mission and the purpose of the 65th Air Base Group. So that's a line of effort at the group level. A lot of the squadrons and a lot of the group staff agencies had a lot of effort into it in the last couple months. Now we can pull that back up to the operational and the strategic level and let us continue to advocate for that. Just like Colonel Littleton said, General Olson, General Hines, Chief Kelly, everybody at the U-Safety staff knows what Lodges and Maroon need and what we want to do for a long-term vision instead of doing a 1-year adjustment and trying to reset every time. So we've got that. It's going to stay as a line of effort, but it's probably going to remain at the group level and up with your input, with your feedback. If you don't tell us where things need to be adjusted, then we're going to be advocating for the wrong things. So please help us with that.
I have all the easy ones. Facilitate installation excellence. I mean, that's pretty simple too. We should be thriving for that every single day, right? So we did just get the SIG, so the Commander-in-Chief Excellence Award. So we have $50,000 coming our way. We're actually going to invest $30,000 of it into the chapel over there at the Airmen Resiliency Center, and we're building Ryan, help me out, somewhere around $20,000 gym in a box. What's it actually called?
Beaver Fit's one of the brands.
Beaver Fit gym in the box that we're going to put over at the track. So we continue to make the installation excellent. Sir.
Jump Ted. Ready or Ted?
Okay.
Make it excellent. All right, keep going. All right, so number 4, strengthen joint and allied partnerships. So this is a wing line of effort. At the wing, they work in partnership with the German Air Force and their German partners. Out at Chevs, you've got Belgium. Here at both Team Lodges and Team Maroon, we don't just work on the partnerships, we work side by side with our partners to actually put those capabilities together and actually get some good effect of that. So some of that we already do. We're just going to continue to get better at and find those mission opportunities to either do them side by side, or if we're providing that critical capability where it's only in the 65th Air Base Group, we work with our partners on making it better.
Oh.
All right, before we go on past this slide, our group chant, and we only do this when we're a group. I like everybody to have squadron unity and have a good, healthy competition at squadrons. And when we do actually things together as a group, the group chant for a long time, since what, 2010, I think?
2010, yes, sir.
So Chief knew, he goes, yeah, I was here in 2010 when the group chant was 6-5 in the fight. And I said, why was it 6-5 in the fight? Do you know why? He said, yeah, he said the wing was deploying people. We were fighting in Afghanistan, Iraq. We were going to all corners of the world, and they want to make sure that they knew that, Team Lodges here, projecting power, we're in the fight. We're also sending people forward to the fight at great expense to running this base. So we're still doing that today, but we're not fighting as much in Afghanistan or Iraq, but we are projecting power. So are we fighting people today here from Lodges? Are we shooting from here, anybody?
Not today, sir.
Okay, so not today. So maybe tomorrow. So what I don't want us to do is say, okay, hey, it felt like at some point it's almost like you've had those group chants or wing chants. They're like, yeah, us too, we're there. And you're like, all right, okay, we need to have something that actually makes you feel proud to say it, and make sure you're not just chasing something like, hey, we're super important. So we wanted to change our group chant to say 6-5 ready to fight, because a big part of the Air Force right now is what are you ready for? Are you ready to go deter Russian aggression, deter Chinese aggression, be able to do your job globally? And we do that here. I said something wrong a couple of commanders calls ago, and I said, hey, I'm proud to be the commander of the 65th Air Base Group, and I would go anywhere, and I would take you to the fight anywhere. And I looked out, and I was like, all right. I just looked at you, I was like, am I taking you on a deployment to Afghanistan? Are you ready to go?
Sure.
She didn't even hesitate. She's like, yeah, let's go. So security forces translator. So I know that everybody would if you could. There's total legalities of that. So I was like, well, that was a very empty thing to say. So recognize your audience and recognize what you do. What I meant was that everybody in here from left to right, they're proud of what they do. They're super professional. And I would take you anywhere we have to go do a global mission in the Air Force. But we do not pick up team lodges and put it on an airplane and go deploy to corners of the world. Okay, so the point is our team is important. We have to be ready for anything, and so that's why it would be 6-5 ready to fight.
Can we try it on, sir?
Sure.
All right, so I say 6-5, the response is ready to fight, right? Yes? 6-5!
Ready to fight!
One more time. 6-5!
Ready to fight!
Hold.
Cool.